When life gets hard, we tend to complain. We tend to think to ourselves, my goodness, how unlucky am I? How difficult the scenarios are in my life. I'm here to tell you that the way out of this philosophy, this mentality, this state, is first and foremost believing that tomorrow will be different. Genuinely having hope that tomorrow will be different. And secondly, having gratitude. My name's Tarab. I talk about emotional intelligence every day. My mission? To convince you that it is very possible to do exactly what you want in life if you know who you are. I had a rough day today. Tackling the ins and outs of relationships and the needs of a family are difficult for every human being. And I always take a lot of time to appreciate the people that I respect that are doing these things simultaneously, because they have had to grow significantly as human beings in their tolerance of difficult scenarios. I believe that when we feel that life is unfair, the greatest boon to heal us is to realize how much we really have, how much our choices have granted us, and how much our circumstances have granted us. There is a lot to be said also about avoidance strategies, essentially trying to assuage our weary souls, or the weary souls of the people that we love. Alas, it takes time. And I've made a conscious effort in my life to take into account the moments that are difficult, take into account the days that are difficult, and the reasons why they're difficult. And oftentimes I believe we run away from the ultimate realities that we have to face. The ultimate realities that we will have to decide at some point to take action on. And I don't know what the perfect time to take action on these things is. I don't believe anyone knows the perfect time. And I don't think we have to know the perfect time, frankly. But we have to know when things need to change. We have to be aware that we are in control of our destinies, the time that we spend, the people that are around us. It just takes a lot of effort and a lot of conviction, oftentimes, to make sure that we follow through with our ideals of the world. When we are young, we don't know when we're right. When we are old, we're often too stubborn to admit that we're wrong. Finding that happy medium in life tends to be the beautiful art of it. Because at some point, after a series of victories, achievements in life, we'll begin to think that our philosophies are correct through and through. Then we have children, and our children learn new things about the world, share new perspectives, conglomerations of our ideologies, and mirror images of us. Then they shatter our reality. They question our truths. And so this cycle continues, constantly. As humanity progresses, ideologies, frames have to change, they have to augment. And it is the job of each generation to make sure that we do not get in the way of the ideologies or the philosophies of the others. Meaning that though we do have the obligation to forge ahead, though we do have the responsibility to create new things, it should not necessarily be at the expense of the philosophies of old. Meaning that sure, change culture, change the things that are around us, augment, evolve. But don't forget where it came from. Don't forget the roots of it. That though it might not apply these days, there was a time in which it did apply. So I make this video to tell you that if you're having these debates with yourself about whether or not you're in the perfect scenario, whether or not you are in the perfect storm of your life, particularly in situations where you might not be super joyful or super ecstatic. In fact, the opposite, where you might be slightly depressed or feeling negative emotions, negative energies. I tell you to take a breath. I tell you to believe that in being a good person, in assuming the responsibility for your life, the end will come, where you feel more at peace, where you are more aligned with your values, your actions, your soul. I tell you to tell this to myself, as I often do to anyone looking for wisdom, because no one has it figured out. This life tends to continue in this fashion, up and down. And that's what makes it so beautiful, the difficulty of it. So if you find yourself wondering, persist, my friend. Persist for the sake of persistence. Persist for the sake of seeing how far this novel goes, where it takes turns, where it begins to look glorious in the darkest and lightest moments. So I had a difficult day, and at the end of it, I feel still committed to my mission, which means there is something there. Perhaps these videos are a form of therapy for me. Perhaps they're a place to voice the journal entries of a wary, evolving mind. Whatever they are, hopefully they're useful to you. Genuinely. If you're sitting there on the other side of the screen, and you know and have felt the way that I feel currently, know that this human emotion is a part of the whole ether, the fabric of the universe. That life is not easy. And that if it were, we wouldn't have much to think about. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. A little bit more somber than usual. I apologize. But hey, alas, why talk about emotional intelligence if we don't talk about the whole breadth of human emotion? If you have a second, check out this video. It'll be a slightly lighter note, but I'm with you, my friend. Reach out to those who love you in situations that are difficult for you. And should they be too far away, know that they will be thinking of you. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.